Breaking news on Mounjaro shortage, ZEPBOUND shortage, and also some upcoming drugs for you. I've got 4 major sources of news to break to you today on GLP-1 medications. Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. It's my pleasure to be here with you today. I have lost over 83 pounds in the last 15 months of taking Mounjaro, and now ZEPBOUND because of the Mounjaro shortage. But super excited today to talk about breaking news for you. We're going to dive right into the first story that I've got for you today. I'm really excited. It's talking about timeline of upcoming GLP-1 drugs. The Count, my hot husband, sent this to me. Sometimes he can be in a stick in the mud, like when I said I was going to buy for $500 a free Mounjaro meal plan to give to you guys for free, which I'll link in the description link below, and pay for it out of our own money, but give it to you guys for free because I wanted to own the licensing rights. But it ended up working well because you guys are loving this free meal plan and shopping plan, which is linked down below. But my husband sent me this link that is really important, and today's going to be a little bit of a longer video because I want to go through and explain about these breaking short stories and how they affect you and how they can help you as well. So it's going to be, this is the timeline and the source. You guys know I'm a stickler about being accurate. If I'm never not factually accurate, please tell me in the comments. The filming date of this is April 10th, 2024. So your air date, things may change. If they do change, I'll update it in a couple of places. 1 in the description link below, 2 in the comments, I'll pin the comments, 3 is in my email list, which I send out twice a week as my free resource to you, and 4th is in my free encouragement group. This one is from, the source is What is the Pipeline of Future Medications of Obesity? And it's from, and the source is Nature 2024 Company Records of E. Melson. You can see right here at the bottom. On a losing streak, so here's what's in the pipeline of coming for GLP-1 medications. Many of you have talked to me about, for me, for example, I'm on Mounjaro 15 milligrams. I'm at the highest. There's nowhere else to go. My appetite suppression is lessened. Food chatter is somewhat back. I'm still doing great and I'm loving it and I'm grateful for my 84 pounds, but I definitely am at the ceiling. I mean, I am. There's nowhere else to go. This is the highest dose. And it's the highest out of the GLP-1 medications. Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND are slightly higher dated than WEGOVY and Ozempic by a little bit, not by much, but by a little bit. And these are what's in the trial processes in either phase 1, 2, or 3. You can see with the different colors. So the one up here, the maker and the drug name, it's Eli Lilly, the reTRAtrutide, which we have talked about, is in clinical phase 2. It needs to go to phase 3. And you may say, okay, well, what's after clinical trial phase 3 is actually when it can go for FDA review for approval to see if it's safe and effective. But the pharmaceutical company, so Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk or these other pharmaceutical companies we're talking about, if Eli Lilly submits that to the FDA then for review for approval, and then if it does, what they do is they submit what's called a new drug, and I can't read my handwriting, a new drug it's called an NDA, not a non-disclosure agreement, but a new drug. Let me pull this up real fast. It's going to drive me nuts. A new drug application. My handwriting's that bad I couldn't read that part. And it will take then 6 to 10 months after phase 3 to get that approval. But some of these can be fast-tracked too. So that's also like, they're saying 6 to 10 months for the data to be submitted to be either accepted or denied for the NDA, that new drug approval. So, but some of these have been submitted for fast track. So reTRAtrutide, it's in clinical phase 2. It needs to go to clinical trial phase 3, and then it needs to get for an NDA, the new drug approval, which could take as long as 6 to 10 months, maybe less than that. I'm hearing 2 years from now is when we'll see things coming on the marketplace for us. So just keeping that in mind. And then also manufacturing of that and other things associated with it too, just keeping those things in mind. The next one is Eli Lilly tirzepatide injection. No, not injection, Eli Lilly tirzepatide. These are, and it's already in, wait a minute. The tirzepatide is Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND. I'm not sure. Let me keep going and I'm going to loop back to that one. That's already been through phase 3. B. Ellingham, I think that means that those have been done. That's interesting. I'm confused on that one. We're going to put a pin, we're going to put a needle in it and we're going to come back. Excuse my pun. Is the B. Ingleham, it's the third one down. B. Ingleham surovutide. It's an injection that's in clinical trial phase 2. Novo Nordisk semaglutide, the oral, that is in phase 3. Novo Nordisk Carasema, that is in phase 2 as an injection, or is that phase 1? No, that's phase 1 as the injection. And you can zoom in on these two. Altimmune pemivutide, that's an injection, number 2. Innovent mazutide injection, clinical trial phase 2. Eli Lilly orforglipron, it's oral, an oral pill. Because I know some of you guys hate injections or like the pens or the injections. And Amgen, AMGI 133 is an injection that's in clinical trial phase 1. So we got a lot. The ballpark is we got a lot. It takes from phase 3 to FDA review for the pharmaceutical company to submit for approval. And then it takes as maximum 6 to 8 months. So there's my source. You can zoom in on these and also take a screenshot too. Cheese. Breaking news story number 2, we're going to talk about shortages. Maroon. I've done other videos on this. This is like my 6th or 7th Mounjaro shortage update and ZEPBOUND shortage update. Click that like and subscribe so you can make sure you see more of these videos. When you click like and subscribe, YouTube will show you more of my content, which will hopefully help you with that. And so we have this FDA, we talked about the shortage with the new vial coming up. That was the recent information, but really with the shortages, what we're talking about in my free group, which has almost 10,000 people in it for Mounjaro weight loss, ZEPBOUND weight loss, WEGOVY, semaglutide, all are welcome at that table. It's linked in the description link below, about how a lot of us are transitioning to compounds. I was on Mounjaro, and because of the shortage, I switched to ZEPBOUND. Because of the ZEPBOUND shortage, switching now probably to a compound. Where I'm at with this, and where for this breaking news story of where we are, is we know the shortage is going to go at least till the end of the year, 2024. We won't have updated information as of right now, today's filming date, April 10th, 2024, in my opinion, until April 30th, 2024, because that's when Eli Lilly's investor meeting is. And at that investor meeting, hello stockholders, I see you. We love our investments. We don't own any Eli Lilly stocks, but I wish I did. Other of my family members do. Well, I guess anyways, I was going to say the S&P. Anyways, I digress. They're going to say at the April 30th meeting, I'm guessing, from my guess, and our group member Brad actually brought this to my attention. So thanks, Brad. I owe this to you because I've done a deep dive on it. I believe that they're going to talk more about shortage solutions, and that's probably when we're going to see this vial information released. Maybe not, but maybe. I've been factually accurate. This is my prediction, and you guys know I like to discern when something is my opinion, when something we know is factually accurate, or if it's a prediction. This is a prediction that I think that that's where that's going to get announced. We know that the vials have been released. Group members have told me in Australia that that is how they're getting their Mounjaro pens. They're not pens, they're the vials for injections. We only have the Mounjaro pens here in the US, and the pens are what's causing the problem. Mounjaro pens, ZEPBOUND pens, it is the pen that's causing the shortage. So, and don't buy into the narrative that it's Hollywood stealing your drugs. That's great for clickbait. That is a great clickbait title for you. And if that enrages you, you are falling right into that media trap. So please don't go there like the shortages, because this is unprecedented. So what you can do as some solutions, talk to your healthcare provider always. Always, always, always. I am not one. People ask me medical advice all the time. I'm like, no, if you want me to run your multi-million-dollar business and video strategies, I'm your gal. Medical stuff, no. Talk to your healthcare provider. I absolutely love Join Fridays and their compounds because they prescribe both brand names and they also prescribe compounds. So you can pivot. And I think that with this breaking news story too is we're going to be in this for a while. And what is your plan? And I know some of you, it's hard to have a plan. I keep planning, and I've been on Mounjaro for 15 months. I keep planning and the plans keep changing. Well, that's kind of where we're at right now. In this 15-month journey, I've had to pivot and change a bunch as new developments come up. And we just saw at the beginning of this video, more new developments are coming up. Look at what's in the pipeline. So don't fret, my pet, over this shortage. There's a lot coming out over the next, in 2 years and 2.5 years and 3 years. Don't stress. And I know so many of you are stressed, and I want to encourage you, take a breath and don't get anxious over the shortage. news people or people telling about these shortages can intentionally make it high stress to get you to watch the video and to get you to, no, babes, like don't buy into that, or dudes, like don't buy into that. Don't buy into that. You've got choices, you're smart, and you're creative. Compounds, I have very much poo-pooed compounds until I started digging. For me, do your own due diligence, but for me, I dug into Join Fridays and how reputable they were with working with reputable compound pharmacies that are third-party independently tested, and I trust them. If you want to try them, use the discount code QUEEN. Queen, it's linked down in the description link below. But compounds is the big thing right now of what I'm seeing in the marketplace in terms of how people, because here's the facts. We know that once we get off Mounjaro or ZEPBOUND or any GLP-1 medication, more than 70% of people gain the weight back. I know that would be me. I'm almost positive that this is going to be a lifelong medication for me, being on a GLP-1 medication, either the one I'm on now, a compound, or one of these coming up. And so therefore, I don't want to get off this medication. I don't want to stop. I don't want to, I'm not to maintenance yet. So I don't want to go more than taking these every single week. If I move to like taking it every 10 days, which I know some of y'all are doing that. And I was like, that is very creative. You know what's best for you, for your body, what's working well. Is it titrating to a different dose? That's important. Now we've got our next breaking news story. I'm going to switch gears off of that because I feel like I've talked that one. There's a couple videos where I have 7 of them, of where I've talked more in depth, so you can go see those, but I did want to kind of skim over those too. Number 3 is Ozempic babies is becoming a buzz breaking news story this week. I talked about babies, Ozempic babies. I didn't call it that, although that's a clever name. I didn't call it that. I talked about babies, and it was in my menstrual cycle. Sorry, dudes. It was in my menstrual cycle video, talking about how it's changed my period so much. And let me pull up what that date was, because now everybody's talking about, yeah, it was 5 months ago. I was talking about this more than 5, I mean, I've been on it for 15 months, but 5 months ago I did a video on this, and now it's all over the news about people who are becoming fertile myrtle. But also, Eli Lilly on the packaging tells us for our GLP-1 medication that when you titrate up a dose, to use another form of birth control for the first 4 weeks of that titration up, if you're taking oral birth control. Well, which makes sense. That tracks if we're having delayed and gastral emptying. So if you've got children, or like if you're a mom and you maybe you're in your 50s, 60s or whatever, and you got kids who are in childbearing years, or you're in childbearing years, something to note. And I know so many people are having fertility issues. And so it's something to note too, also to give hope that GLP-1 medications, it tracks. If you're changing your health, for me, when I lost a substantial amount of weight with the keto diet, I've subsequently gained it all back, but now I've lost again because of Mounjaro. But when I had lost a ton of weight with keto, I got pregnant. I was fertile myrtle with my daughter, and that was crazy. That was like crazy. So I share that to give encouragement too, of like, when you get healthier, your body gets healthier, and it creates an area to be healthy, right? For health and wellness. So being mindful of that with these Ozempic babies, people are seeing, it tracks that it's seeing more fertility with it, but also you absolutely do need to know, particularly with where the state of our country is right now, with things changing, that first 4 weeks, Eli Lilly tells us to have another form of birth control if you're taking an oral birth control contraceptive, if you titrate it up. So keeping that in mind as well. And if you've got somebody who is with the new FDA approvals, like we just saw, the WEGOVY got approved. WEGOVY is for chronic obesity management. It's the same thing as Ozempic, but different FDA approval. Ozempic is FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. WEGOVY is approved for chronic obesity management. WEGOVY was just approved by the FDA for heart-related things. So decreased 20% of cardiovascular events, strokes, heart attacks. So we're seeing different FDA approvals start popping up for chronic obesity management, type 2 diabetes, now the heart thing. And so something to keep in mind too, if you've got people who are in childbearing years, or who, I know infertility is such a big thing. And so anyways, it's interesting that there's stories coming out now. That was the big breaking news this week, and in the past couple of days, really, about more Ozempic babies. But it makes sense, right? Like if you're getting healthier, it makes sense that you be grounds for helping with fertility. Tip number, where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tip number 4. The media really loves talking about Ozempic, even though people aren't all on Ozempic. They're calling it Rozempic. It's where more gentlemen are taking GLP-1 medications, and how there's been a stigma with gentlemen to taking GLP-1 medications. My experience, strength, and hope is we have in my free group over 10,000, almost 10,000 people, but a lot of people in the group are gentlemen. And that this is not, and they are loud, proud, and happy they're on GLP-1 medications, that the tide is turning. It's not just for females. I think part of that is because of looks and weight and things like that. But it makes me nuts when people are like, you're taking this for vanity. No, I'll talk for myself. I'm taking this to save my life, help my blood panels. But thanks for thinking I look cute. You know what I'm saying? But I think for gentlemen, this Brozempic articles that are coming out about how more gentlemen are taking GLP-1 medications, I think they have been. It's just been more because of the stigma for gentlemen, and that is changing as well. And I love in the Countess of Shopping group, we have counts, and a lot of them. So if you're one of those counts, say hi in the chat. I know some don't or won't say hi in the chat because they're embarrassed or whatever, and there's no guilt, shame, or condemnation here at Countess of Shopping. Like, we've got a lot of folks who are on it, who are helping with their type 2 diabetes, who are helping with their chronic obesity management, and now with the approval of WEGOVY for heart disease-related things, for strokes, chronic cardiovascular events, and heart attacks, it's that category too, right? So it's really expanding a lot of stuff. Tip number, where are we for breaking news stories? That was 3, 4. That was 4. So tip number 5. I can't read my handwriting again. Looks like Vlas Dios. Oh, it says 420. I don't know what, 430. 430, not 420. 430 is going to be that investors meeting. And that where I think that I would encourage you, if you are taking any sort of GLP-1 medication, is going to be interesting, because I feel like in the news stories, we've heard a lot from Eli Lilly and less from Novo Nordisk. And I'm trying to research in more about Novo Nordisk, about their shortage information solutions. I know they're working as hard as they can. And I know when I was at the Oprah show, I talked to the beautiful Novo Nordisk representative that was there, as was the Eli Lilly one. And there's me on Oprah. And in talking to the Novo Nordisk, they said that people are working 24/7. They're working at the factories. They're working to absolve this as quickly as they can, as safely as they can. But I just don't feel like there's information on shortage relief, which is why I go back to, because I've been looking. I was doing my due diligence, and feel free to correct me in the comments. I looked. For Eli Lilly, I think on that April 30th, that investors call that they have for Eli Lilly, that we will hopefully hear more about this vial thing, because and I know some of you guys are very against doing it. You'd rather have a pen, but the pen is what's causing the shortages. So this could be a key for us. We have right now, the shortage is going to go until the end of the year. Well, if that helps break up the supply chain issues, I'll switch to that in a heartbeat. I will switch to that in a heartbeat, because my preference is not to take a compound. My preference is to take name brand, but I feel like I've been backed into a corner, and I know many of you have been. I don't have information, because part of me is like, okay, then what I did is I went to Mounjaro, switched to ZEPBOUND. I would switch to WEGOVY in a heartbeat. Even though it's a little bit less of the data, still it's a GLP-1 medication. If I have access to not have stress on it, I totally will. But I feel like there's not, that in my area, and tell me in the comments about you, but in my area, it's massively under shortage. It's less of being able to get WEGOVY than I can for Mounjaro or ZEPBOUND, which is crazy, by the way. So I think that this April 30th date for the Eli Lilly investor meeting is going to hopefully give us some clarity. I'm hoping it'll give us some clarity. And maybe I'm putting too much stock into it, excuse the pun, because it's for stock folks. But maybe I'm putting too much stock into this meeting, but I think that we're going to get hopefully some more solutions, right? Because they want to keep investors happy. Unprecedented amount of people are taking GLP-1 medications that we've ever seen in our lifetime. In my lifetime, in your lifetime, we have not seen anything like this, because it's changing so many people's lives and saving lives, and what the medication does. for me, it's life-saving, truly, like literally. Like so much so that I'm talking to a financial planner more about our financial planning for retirement. My husband and I have been on that. We do a lot of retirement stuff, but for financial planning. But even more so now, I'm like, I'm going to live a lot longer than I had initially anticipated, and we need to figure out our retirement stuff better. So I think that all joking aside, but I think that investor meeting hopefully will clarify. So so make sure you click that like and subscribe. I'll be on it. I'll be sharing you guys that news breaking story. But I do think knowing these what's coming down the pipeline and with the timeline on there is very helpful to make some decisions too. For me, for example, the Eli Lilly reTRAtrutide, it's higher than the tirzepatide, which has been released. I think I had said earlier, and I made the error in that is what has already been released because it's in the 3rd trial. I mean, it's already done the phase 3. It's already been approved by the FDA because that's how we have Mounjaro and ZEPBOUND. But which tells me, why is Novo Nordisk, it's on there. No, it's on there for oral, but not for injection. This is why it's confusing me, because why isn't Novo Nordisk injection on there? It's not. For semaglutide. It's on semaglutide oral. So if you don't like injections and you're looking at this video and you're like, I'm not on any injections for GLP-1 because I don't like injections. Well, there's the oral semaglutide is in clinical trial 3. That's awesome, by the way. That as they push these through, and they very well may push them, I should say, this is my opinion. It takes from that FDA approval for the new drug application, the NDA, 6 to 10 months to get approval or denied, the approval or denied. I think that because of the supply chain issues, they'll probably push that semaglutide for the oral once it does get approved. I'm going to say once it does, because I think it will. That's my own opinion. Let's be clear of what's factually accurate and what's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think it will get approved. So that probably, though, realistically, is what I'm hearing is 2 years for the next layer and wave of things coming out that's new, besides Mounjaro, ZEPBOUND, WEGOVY, Ozempic. So I hope that helps. That would absolve having another player here in the marketplace would be very helpful. That's FDA approved. That's not one of those, right? Like we know that WEGOVY got approved for heart disease stuff, but that's still WEGOVY that's under a shortage. So yeah, take from this, it's a great time to be alive. Our grandmothers and our grandfathers did not have access to all of this stuff. And gosh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Or maybe they do. Maybe you have a grandparent that's taking a GLP-1 medication. You're lucky if you do. My grandparents are not alive, and I wish they were, because chronic obesity runs in my family, and I know the heartache that obesity causes, and type 2 diabetes too. So this is a gift, and I'm going to take it as such. By the way, I had to tell you guys, if you guys saw in one of my other videos, I was talking about how bloated I have had with Mounjaro 15 milligrams, really bad bloating and tummy issues, gastrointestinal issues, and I've been on Mounjaro 15 milligrams for months now. I was testing, and then now I can confirm ARRAE for bloating. I'll link it down below they've given us a discount code. It is awesome. The number 1 ingredient is organic ginger extract, and I always tell you guys about ginger for tummy issues, Mounjaro gastrointestinal issues, and ZEPBOUND. It's awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome. I've been filming now for over an hour. I took it an hour ago. My stomach hurt so badly. I was so bloated. I took before and after pictures, so I'm going to go put them over on Countess of Shopping Instagram. My stomach feels so much better. Like, it takes an hour. It takes an hour or so. But man, it has 5 ingredients in it, and lemon balm is one of the ingredients. The number 1 is organic ginger extract. It feels so much better. My tummy really hurt. Even at the start of this video, which was 23 minutes ago, it was still really hurt. And now it feels much, I feel like I can deep breath out. Which, speaking of deep breaths too, if you have sleep issues, if you've not tried Bioptimizers, my magnesium, 7 types of magnesium, I highly recommend. Game changer, I'll link it in the description link below. Use the discount code for that one, Queen. This one's a whack discount code, but it's down in the description too. People are like, where's the description code? Click more. You'll see it says ... more. That's the description. I have tons of links on there, like my Mounjaro shopping list, all of my free resources for you, that meal plan, the link to my free group, like a ton of stuff. a ton of free stuff. So, okay, that's it for today's breaking news story. Click that like and subscribe button. Today's emoji, did we already do that? I'm worried I'm going to give them different emojis today, but today is going to be a pen. The emoji for today is a pen. It will let me know that you made it this far in the video. 2, it'll help with pattern recognition for me to recognize your name. 3, I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I will uplift you in positive thought. And the final thing, what are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments below. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I'll see you on the next time. Bye, friends. Have a great